was only when she was alerted by a Mothers Action Group that East Midlands member of the European Parliament, Glenys Willmott, discovered that a new milk formula had been endorsed by a committee of the European Commission. It's claimed that the formula improves the eye development of babies. But she's angry that the committee's decision was made behind closed doors. This report from Robin Powell.
Claims of health benefits by food manufacturers are often controversial, but especially so for formula milk and other baby food. Which is why East Midlands MEP Glenys Willmott was so annoyed to discover that an EU committee had approved a health claim made by the American manufacturer Mead Johnson behind closed doors.
This is our children's health we're talking about. This is a very important issue, and I think decisions about these sorts of health claims, we need to know, one, if they're scientifically based, and we need to have that discussion in public.
The claim approved in December concerns docosahexaenoic acid, or DHA for short. It's a naturally occurring omega-3 fatty acid found in large amounts in the brain and retina and in breast milk. The committee in question accepted Mead Johnson's claim that DHA intake contributes to the visual development of infants up to 12 months of age. But Dr. Angela O'Sullivan, a nutrition expert at DeMontfort University, says that tells us nothing we didn't know already.
The evidence does seem to support it in terms of giving DHA to the mother while she's going through pregnancy, and at the end of the pregnancy and then following the child through until 4 years old, there does seem to be an enhancement of eyesight from the children whose mothers did have that supplement. However, that does not mean that we can necessarily say that adding the DHA as a novel food substance to the infant formula will have the same effect.
Patti Rundall from the pressure group Baby Milk Action says the decision sets a dangerous precedent. She fears it'll persuade more women to bottle feed, both in the EU and beyond, including the third world. She says it proves that unelected officials have too much control over baby food marketing, and MEPs need to reassert their authority.
The parliamentarians have had this power to look to comment on baby food marketing taken away from them. This power was taken away by the Commission in 1989, and I think the Commission is protecting the interests of the baby food industry, no doubt about it in my mind.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Dr. O'Sullivan is also concerned that having health claims for formula milk endorsed by the Commission may dissuade some women from breastfeeding. Of all consumers, she says pregnant women and new mothers are among the most vulnerable.
What they want to do is to be able to have what's best for their child, and they might be concerned about things. I mean, if you were to imagine a family that perhaps had eyesight problems and they were concerned about their child having eyesight problems, I could imagine that would have a big impact on them if they were thinking that this product might take them out of that risk area.
Mead Johnson declined to be interviewed, but in a statement it said it supports breastfeeding, which is universally accepted as the best method of feeding babies. However, some mothers can't breastfeed, and the company said it's unfair to deprive their babies of the chance to benefit from formula containing DHA. The link between DHA and eye development, it said, was well documented and backed up by compelling scientific evidence. But Baby Milk Action says more research is needed to allay safety fears. It points to concerns in the United States about a possible link between some formula milk ingredients and raised blood pressure. But if it's proved that synthesized DHA added to formula milk does indeed aid eyesight development without posing any risks, Patti Rundall wants it included in all formula milk products.
I just don't like it in some formulas and not in others, so that the mother has to come to the shop and say, oh, well, that one's good for my baby's eyes, that formula's good for my baby's legs, that one's good for the brain. It's a nonsense and it's unethical.
I would be the first person to say, if this health claim is true, that's great, let's have it in everything that babies have. But I want to make sure it's correct, and what we don't want is an international company's marketing department making these decisions on behalf of parents. We want parents to have the full facts before they use these products.
The good news for Glenys Willmott is that she has persuaded a sufficient number of colleagues to force the European Parliament's Environment, Public Health and Food Safety Committee to consider the DHA claim next month. If the committee feels the decision made in December needs to be revisited, it'll go to a vote by the full Parliament at the beginning of April. We asked the European Commission for a statement, but it didn't provide one.
Next, villagers across the East Midlands are angry about the impact open cast mining is having on their communities. Residents near Smalley in Derbyshire insist it's now reached a stage where they'll be practically...
Good evening. A Cambridge University professor has been named as one of 2 men who drowned in the River Thames when a boat capsized at the weekend. Dr. Rex Walford was a former Fellow of Wolston College and was among a party of 6 friends involved in the accident. One other person drowned and a body has been recovered. Well, earlier Mike Cartwright sent this report.
We understand that friends of his early today paid tribute to him, describing him as an immensely talented author. Now, this is a picture of Dr. Walford, a Cambridge University professor, a professor here at Emmanuel College. He was 70. He'd been awarded the OBE, a former head of Cambridge University's Department of Education. He was also the president of the Geographical Association and was a respected figure in the world of theatre. He directed more than 80 plays and musicals. Now, it's understood that Dr. Walford was one of the 2 men who disappeared on Sunday night after a boat capsized on the Thames in Surrey. The 2 men were among 3 couples returning from a place called Faroes Island, a place that can only be reached by boat. They'd been to a party. Now, it's understood that the small boat with an outboard got into difficulty as they negotiated the bend. Now, 4 people were recovered and taken to hospital, but 2 men disappeared. Now, the body of a local man has been recovered, but Dr. Walford is still missing. Mike Cartwright, BBC Look East, Cambridge.
The Bishop of East Anglia has spoken publicly for the first time since telling his congregation that he's dying. The right